Cappaqua Market. Tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get involved in the fabulous world of food?
Well, I can tell you that my first childhood memory that I have, and this is 100% true, is being 3 years old and crawling around our backyard in Santa Monica looking for snails with my parents, who are both French. Well, my dad passed away a couple years ago, but very French parents who moved to the States in the late 50s. And they were obsessed with all things food, and they missed their French snails with garlic and butter and parsley. And so whenever there was a driving rain, the next day all the snails would come out from the laurel bushes, and my parents would take us on a snail hunt, as it were, and we would put them in a bucket overnight with salt to just clean them out, and then pop them in the oven the next day. And literally my father was one of those people who would wake up in the morning and ask my mom what's for lunch, and while he was eating breakfast, and then at lunch say, what are we having for dinner? I mean, it was just an obsession. He worked in restaurants in Los Angeles his whole career. He was a career waiter in a tuxedo and a cummerbund and the whole thing, and he worked at some fancy pants restaurants, and we benefited from all the leftovers at school. The kids at the school, whenever I opened my lunchbox, they'd all crowd around to see what I had, because it was always, filet mignon left over from the restaurant, or lobster tails, or some crazy wackadoodle thing. So our family was very food obsessed, and I became a journalist, and I started in hard news, did investigative reporting for many years, covered the crime beat, you name it. I did everything in the newsroom, but my heart was calling out to write about food. And when the food columnist at the paper where I was at quit, I applied for the job and got it, and then I spent the next 10 years writing about food, and I became a restaurant critic at the New York Daily News, where I covered the beginnings of the farm-to-table movement, and I watched all the restaurants in New York City start developing relationships with farmers in the Hudson Valley, and then I started running farmers markets when I left that job, when I had small children and I needed to be home for dinner instead of out.
People have a love of food and good food, and so when I'm on the sustainability board in my town, and a number of years ago we wanted to put this market together, and doing some research and trying to get this done was quite a deal, actually. And Nancy Lyman, and she got the Bedford cable people, and that's how we initially started.
Right.
And we wanted it to be what I think it mostly is a town square.
Yep.
With people meeting and having, food and music, and do you find that to be like a major attraction? I mean, do you speak to people at the market, and how do they usually feel about it?
I would say that I'm right there with you in terms of the piazza. That is, my initial, when I was asked to take over the Hastings market, my initial impulse was to get great food there. But within one day of being there, I realized this market was about so much more. And especially in the suburbs, where people really miss that intensity of living in the city and just, seeing all the energy. I mean, people feel really isolated in their homes here, and this is the place where they bring all of their, this is where you come and show off a new hat, a new baby, a new dog, a new dress. It also has become the place where anybody who has a community issue that they want to share, or they call us and say, can we come to the market? So I think shoppers have come to see it also as a place. It's a piazza, much more than just about food.
And there's a big thing on organics these days. And you go to a food market, you don't always know. Some of them say, bio, farm, bio, organics, and some don't. And you wonder, what's the difference? I mean, there's certified organic, there's non-certified organic. And people have asked me in the past about it, and I can't really give them a fantastic answer. Do you have a good answer to that?
Well, yes. I mean, you can't use the word organic unless you're certified organic. So if it says organic, it needs to be certified. And it's pretty safe that it's going to be organic, because otherwise they're breaking the law. Some of our vendors are transitioning to organic, which means they have acquired new farmland, and the land needs to be cleaned out and grown only organic for a couple of years before it gets the title of organic. But you know, there's a lot of farmers out there who don't get the certification because I've dealt with farmers now for 10 years and paperwork is not their strong suit. But they grow in sometimes ways that are more organic than organic, because the certification actually allows you to use quite a bit of, you know, a minimum standard of chemicals and fungicides. But some of our farmers who are not certified are actually more hyper organic. Like we have Miracle Springs Farm today. They're a new vendor this summer, and they're biodynamic, which is, you know, organic on steroids basically. Everything at the farm is 100% sustainable and self-contained. They use their own composting. I mean, it's just a beautiful, beautiful, I hope, the way that everyone's going to go.
It's planting and harvesting on a lunar cycle too, right?
Yep, absolutely. So we're very excited to have them. So, but the good thing about the farmer's market, which you don't have at the supermarket when you're scratching your head and wondering, is that you get to talk to the farmer, directly to the farmer, which is part of the experience as much, you know, that's one of my favorite things, is being able to ask the farmer direct questions. How do you grow this? What do you do with it? What do you do with rutabaga? Like, you know, they love to talk. You know, they work very long hours and very lonely hours on the farm all week, and they love being here and talking directly to consumers, and that is, you can't beat that.
Yeah, I love doing that too.
How do you decide who gets to be a vendor at the Cappaqua Farmers Market or any of your farmers markets?
Well, so I taste everything before it gets to the market.
Tough job, but someone's got to do it.
Someone's got to do it. But you know, we give priority obviously to people who, you know, it's like everything. It has to be curated. We have to make sure that our vendors are happy, and so that we don't have too much duplication. So, I mean, you know, usually if somebody approaches me about joining the market, my first question is, do we already have this product? Is this something we have too much of? Because, you know, you can tell when you're at this market, the vendors are doing well and they're happy to be here. When they start not making enough money and it's not worth the long drive to come here, then they're unhappy, and then it makes for an unhappy market. So we want everybody to be happy, so we avoid duplication. And so we're at the point now where we have pretty much covered every category in Cappaqua. I mean, you'd have to come up with something very unusual, like snails.
Frogs' legs.
Anyway, to get in now it's just ridiculous. I feel like we're just very spoiled here. It's become a very big market, and everybody has heard about it, and everyone wants to be here, which is a great feeling. But you know, we obviously have a bar, and people have to fill out an application, and you know, if it's prepared food, they need all the proper licensing and certification, and they need to be working in a certified kitchen, things like that. But really, it's just more about balance. I'm very careful about the balance of vendors and making sure we have more vegetables and produce and fruit than anything else, and then, you know, that's my priority, and then cheese and bread and fish and pastured meats, and then, you know, all the other things that's the next tier. But you know, I think people do come for hours now. They come with their kids and they picnic and they listen to music and they hang out. So we do need to have prepared food now and be able to feed the kids and feed everybody else, and so it just keeps growing.
That's fantastic, actually. I've seen it growing and loving it every year more and more.
So take off your farmers market curator hat for a moment, because
Okay.
that's really what you are. You're a curator.
Yeah.
Putting together a collection of great vendors. You're a shopper now.
Yes.
So you just pulled up in your car to the farmers market. You grab your reusable bags and you're hitting the pavement. How do you go and shop at a farmer's market?
I buy my eggs first because those go fast. I buy my eggs and my greens first. If I'm a bien cuit fan, which I am, I will also go and reserve a miche because I don't want to carry it around because they're heavy, but those also go fast. And then I walk around and I always, whatever's hyper seasonal that week, I want. Like this morning, I was visiting my Hastings Market, and there was rhubarb, and I just jumped on it because I knew that would fly. So grab the things that are going to be very popular. The latest thing that just arrived at the market. One thing that I always tell shoppers to do is, I write in the blog. We let people know what's coming into market that season, and it's not difficult to just Google what's in season this week in New York. But try and get a recipe before you come to the market of something you want to make, so that you're not aimless. It's really easy to get distracted here because there's so many things going on. Adorable dogs, adorable children, great music. But so it helps to make a little list before coming, just like shopping anywhere else. Do a reconnaissance mission. First go around, grab your eggs, and then walk around and see what you feel like buying, because sometimes you'll get excited and buy the rhubarb at one stand, and then you'll realize, oh, that rhubarb looked a little better, pinker, whatever. So just do a reconnaissance tour before you commit to anything, but grab your eggs first.
Where can people find that blog, and how often do you update it, and how do you use social media to promote Chopper?
I write a blog every week for the market. It comes out on Friday mornings at Cappaqua.org. And then we also do frequent Facebook posts during the week.
You do Twitter and Instagram, any of that stuff?
We do Instagram. I don't tweet, but we do Instagram.
You don't tweet at 3 in the morning while you're up and about?
Something has put me off tweeting. I have no idea what it is.
Neat.
I think we have a Facebook page as well.
Yeah. No, I mentioned Facebook. We do several posts a week on Facebook. Yeah, and like yesterday I was posting late in the afternoon because a vendor told me, oh, I'm going to have this. Madura Farms told me they were going to have ramps and fiddlehead ferns and asparagus, and I was like, oh, people need to know about that, because they get to the market, they see the ramps, and they don't know what to do with it. So I like for people to do some research before they get here and say, oh, okay, now I know what I'm going to do with my ramps.
So what should we do with our ramps other than drive on them and off them?
You should wilt them in a little bit of garlic and toss them with some eggs. You can make a ramp risotto, which is delicious. Ramp pizza I make a lot. They're like little wild leeks, they're very oniony and they have a lot of flavor, so you don't need to, keep it simple, just like white truffles, keep it simple.
So how do you scramble an egg?
Oh, very carefully.
just wanted to get that one in there. You've written a book as well, in addition to all this amazing stuff. You were quite a Renaissance human in a wonderful way, about pie, about American pie. What's the title again?
American Pie, Slices of Life and Pie from America's Backroads.
How did that come about and why?
Well, that came about when I was offered a job in New York and I was living in San Francisco writing about food, and I didn't want to fly into my new life. I wanted to drive slow.
Okay.
And so I had an old Volvo named Betty, and I just decided that I was gonna, since I was a food writer, that I needed to find a peg, something to get me from one end of the country to the other. And I looked at a map and I was like, how am I going to decide? And then what kind of food will I be able to find in every state? And of course, I thought about barbecue, but I thought that would be a little heavy. So then I thought of pie. Every state has pie. So and plus, having been raised as a French person in a French family, eating only French food, we had tarts, not pie. I didn't have a pie till I was in college, believe it or not. So anyway, so I decided to look for pie, and I just literally, it was like a scavenger hunt concept where I would stop. I wanted to learn more about America as well, because I hadn't traveled through the country. Every time we went on vacation, we went to France. So I basically, I went to Kentucky, and I went to the training center for the Kentucky Derby, and I asked a horse trainer to tell me, where do you go for pie in Kentucky? And then he took me to his favorite place for pie. So then I could learn a little bit about the local pie, and also about Kentucky and about horse training. And so it was a book. It was about America as much as it was about pie. It was also a personal journey.
Mint julep pie in Kentucky. What did you have?
Bourbon pie, bourbon pecan, I think. Yeah.
Bourbon. Is there a favorite pie, a favorite place that you have on your travels?
Yeah, I had two favorites. One was mostly what made them special were the stories that came with them.
The stories behind the pie.
The stories behind the pie, yeah. There was a bear hunter, a bear trapper in Montana who had a drinking problem, and he decided that he needed to stop drinking cold turkey, and so he put down the bottle and he picked up a rolling pin and he started making pie, and he made huckleberry pie, and it was so good that the local cafe in Whitefish asked him to bake for them, and now he's just like famous for his pie baking, hasn't touched a drop since that night, and it was a great story, and
That's a 13th step.
yes, exactly.
Pretty wild. Well, this is really wonderful. I mean, we have now. Just want to make people aware of the reusable bag when they come to the market in Cappaqua, to make sure they bring their bags. You can buy them here. You can bring them from wherever. Certain produce and meats, you can use certain thinner plastics. But just remember, bring your bag. And that's just my public service announcement. Any other thoughts?
2 questions. One is, what are you cooking tonight?
Oh, well, tonight I'm actually going to an Education Foundation gala, so I'm not cooking, but I am going to buy some ramps and probably will be making a ramp risotto tomorrow. And I might have to throw in some scallops from Pura Vida in there, because I think that would be a really nice combination.
Okay. And we have a question that we ask all our guests. Why did the coyote cross the road?
To get to the farmer's market.
Bida boom, bida bing. Wonderful. One last thing. Just give us your website info and any social media info.
Cappaqua.farmersmarket.org, and we're on Instagram and Facebook.
What's the Facebook and Instagram handles?
I believe it's Cappaqua Farmers Market.
Yeah.
That's pretty. And if that's wrong, you can just go to our webpage and get the link from there. But I'm pretty sure that's right.
So come on down to the markets on Saturdays in Cappaqua and any market that's nearby you, because you get food from the farmers. Love your farmer.
Yep.
We're here at the Cappaqua Farmers Market, and it's beautiful. It turned out nice. They said it was going to rain, but hey, we beat that. And we spoke to Pascal, who's the head of the market here, the director, the chief cook and bottle washer. And so here we are with
Laura.
Laura is coming to the market today, and can you tell me why you're here, why you like it, any particular vendors you like or foods?
Alright, well, I'm here, to go shopping, of course. I love the farmers market because everyone's really nice. It's a great gathering of the community. Everything even looks really nice. And I personally love Dough Nation, the pizza place. I love the pretzels here. Just everything really is just so great.
Any veggies?
I mean, yeah, but
any favorite veggie?
She's here with the pizza.
Yeah. I guess that would be the carrots here and the corn.
That's when it's fresh in season.
Yeah.
How about the music?
It's nice. It has a nice calming atmosphere. It really ties the whole market together.
Great. So I know you'll be back this summer, huh?
I definitely will.
Okay. Thanks.
Hello, we're here with Adam Cece, Cappaqua Farmer Market intern extraordinaire. Hello, Adam.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm great, thank you.
So tell us, how long have you been working here at the farmers market?
I began working here approximately a year ago, the spring of 2016.
And tell us about the types of things that you do here.
So I just do like little jobs to help the market move along smoothly. I put out chairs and tables for people to sit on. Sometimes I help vendors set up their tents, or I get change for vendors when they need it. I set up the tent for the music performances every week, clean up the tables, and I work at like the general market stand, just selling like the market's merchandise. Just things to try to help everything move together.
And tell us your name.
I'm Zach Mortman, and I started at the farmers market at the middle of last farmers market season last year.
What's the best part of the farmers market to you?
I think the best part is being able to go around and just get a taste or a little sample of every stand that's here. It's always great food.
Do you consider yourself a foodie, or has this changed the way you think about food at all?
I think it's taught me to try like what I think I might not like, and it probably turns out to be good.
How about you, Adam?
What was the question, please?
The question is, has it made you think about food differently than you did before starting to work here?
Well, being that my dad is a chef, food has always played a pretty big role in my life. But it definitely has changed my mind about, I've definitely become more aware of the type of food that I eat, like where it comes from, how it's made, and it's definitely made me more conscious of like variety in my diet, and just like trying new things.
Do you have a favorite farmer, Zach?
A favorite farmer? I think my favorite stand would probably be What's for Dessert. It's down over there. The desserts they have, I think, are really nice. Sometimes I would go for one of their like little red velvet cookies with like the frosting on top. I really like those. Probably my personal favorite. And then also a close second would probably be the kombucha right over there with the red tent. Because sometimes you're thirsty and you need to get a drink.
One last question for each of you. What's the strangest thing you've eaten at the farmer's market?
Strangest thing I've had at the farmer's market. I would say. It's a very good question. I had pizza with arugula, walnuts, prosciutto, and squash. That was very tasty.
How about you, Zach?
Last year there was a vendor here one time cooking things on his egg grill, and I think we had some baked peaches. He like cooked them on the grill, so that was kind of a different flavor of the peaches that I'm used to.
All right, thank you, guys.
All right, thank you.
Enjoy the day. Hi, and we're here with Daniel from Breezy Hill Orchard. Hello, Daniel.
How are you doing?
Doing great, thanks. How about you?
Good.
So, first day of the market, what are your expectations for the season?
For the season, I don't know. Today I'm just hoping it doesn't hurricane on us. You know?
Is that an option?
It always is. Rain or shine, right?
So tell us, you've got an incredible variety of stuff. Tell us about what you guys bring to the market.
Breezy Hill Orchard has been growing apples for over 30 years now. We've been making hard cider since '96. We have a full array of baked goods, pies, crumbles. We make fresh pasta every week. We run 2 egg farms and bring fresh eggs. Our cookies, ginger snap and chocolate chip, are world renowned. And we have our cider donuts.
What's the best seller?
Definitely the cookies, I think. Yeah, that and the eggs, and our hard cider is always a good standby. So,
Do you have a favorite cider?
Godspeed the Plow.
Tell us about Godspeed the Plow.
It's about 7.5% alcohol. It's a blend of traditional American varieties along with some French and English varieties we grow. It's totally dry, slightly carbonated, and just got a nice bitter structure to it. It's a good cider. Very food friendly.
How long have you been in the orchard business?
I've been growing food for 10 years.
How did you start?
Kind of always wanted to, kind of just fell into it, a little of both. You know? Sort of like when you're a kid and you want to be a policeman or a fireman, and they're just like, sure, you do whatever you want. And you wind up and you're a policeman, or a fireman, or a farmer.
Well, thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing you all summer long.
Cheers.
Hello, Brian.
Hi, how are you guys doing?
Doing great. So, tell us about Tiny.
Okay, well, we're a little hummus company out of Hastings on Hudson. We make a few different flavored hummuses. We go to Cappaqua every week, of course, and a few other markets. And I love doing it.
Do you make the hummus too, or you just sell it?
I don't make the hummus. My friend Sean and a couple other guys, they make the hummus. They make it at the Tame Shack in Hastings on Hudson. And I just get to do the fun part where I come out and stand around outside.
What hummus? Oh, okay, you're sold out today. So clearly all of them sell well. But typically, what's your best selling hummus?
Well, this is a boring answer, but it's true. It's the classic plain hummus. That's That's the one that definitely goes the fastest. I'd say behind that, truffle oil, maybe, or possibly the cilantro sometimes.
Do you have a favorite?
I'm a big cilantro fan. That's probably why it sells well, because I push it a little harder.
And tell us, do you work at other farmers markets or just Cappaqua?
This year I'm just doing Cappaqua. I have in the past worked at a number of different ones. I've done Rye, I've done Nyack, I've done... What's that town right next to me?
Nanuet?
Not Nanuet, it's a little bit...
Piermont.
Piermont, that's the one I've done. Piermont, yeah, I've done a few other ones.
And what distinguishes the Cappaqua Farmers Market from all the other ones that you worked at?
This is the first one I ever did, and I know a lot of people here. When I come to work here, it's kind of like coming to work with all my friends. I get to see a lot of people I know. Good vibes. And it's also it's a bit more local. Some of those other ones are made by sizable companies. They're sort of cookie cutter. This one is a bit unique.
All right, thank you very much. It's great talking to you.
Sure. Thanks for having me on.
We're not letting you go that fast.
Oh, okay.
Because I like the traditional. And does Taim have like recipes for use of the hummus? And do you aside from spreading, is there any? I mean, falafels, whatever else you want to dip your chip in. Is there any other use that people have said they use it for? Just curious.
This is a family show, by the way.
Okay, so I shouldn't swear. Okay. I, off the top of my head, can't think of too much. I guess I've occasionally thrown it on top of salads. That can work pretty well. But a sandwich spread, a dip, just a spoon. I don't get too creative. But.
So now we have to figure out ways of getting more creative with hummus. So at the end of the show, we're going to give our social media and everything, and I want to get people to put in their hummus recipes. Well, what do you do with hummus? So Taim is a great place to buy it, and come to the market to buy their... I'm going to try the truffle oil next time when it's not sold out. And thanks so much.
Thank you.